Taking my kids away from their grandparents? For some context, I am 42M and my wife is 39F and we have 2 kids who are 10M and 7F. My son and daughter are everything for me. However, for the past 5 years or so, since before COVID and a bit after, I worked overseas and I rarely came home. I am a petroleum engineer and work on offshore rigs. I came home maybe 4 times in the past 5 years, only staying for a week max. My kids basically think of me as a stranger, and that is not their fault, it is mine. But everything I do is to provide for them, and my wife works overtime and I cannot even begin to express how much I appreciate her for that. She has been so understanding. We need the money, hence why I do what I do. The issue, I recently came back and switched to an on-site desk job, about a month or 2 ago. My kids are still shy around me, and I want to get to know them better. My kids recently started coming out of their shell, and they usually spend a couple weekends per month at my in-laws' place, whenever my wife has to work weekends. My wife had to work this weekend, and told me on Thursday. I asked my kids if they want to spend this weekend with me instead of their grandparents. No pressure, of course. I did want to incentivize them staying though, so I promised ice cream after dinner both days, and a fast food lunch both with my wife's permission. My son accepted immediately, and my daughter had to be bribed with a later bedtime on Saturday. Wife approved once again. I just did this because I want to spend more time with my kids. I know I cannot make up for the times I've missed, but I don't want to miss any more. However, my in-laws called me yesterday and gave me an earful about how I am interrupting their time with their grandkids and how I am breaking their tradition. I told them I just wanted to spend time with my kids, and next time my wife has to work the weekend I will send them over for sure to make up for it. They said I should find my own time to hang out with them and make traditions with them, and not interfere with what's going on. They accused me to bribing my kids for affection, partially true I guess, and for taking their grandkids away from them. They also called me a deadbeat, which I feel wasn't fair since I didn't want to be away, my job made me, and I was constantly sending every penny I could back home. Had my kids still said no, I would have sent them to their grandparents. I did bribe them, but it's just with school and everything, I barely get time with them and weekends are the best. And with my wife on her business trip too, I get one-on-one time with them. I was just so excited and may have gotten carried away. My wife is going to stay neutral on this, so, comment 1. NTA. These are your kids. I understand why your in-laws would be sad to miss out on their usual weekends, but if they really care about the kids they should be glad you're home and eager to build a stronger relationship with your family. If you want to be nice, you could suggest the in-laws come hang out with you and the kids so you can both get some fun kid time in, but you're not obligated to, especially if the kids are likely to ignore you in favor of the grandparents in that case. You're already being nice by saying they'll definitely get the next weekend. You're allowed to want to spend time with your kids and you're allowed to make decisions, with your wife, about your kids' schedule. Comment 2. NTA. You are trying to bond with your children. Your in-laws should be supporting and encouraging that. The compromise you offered was fair. After all, while yes you are home more, you still have a job you need to do to provide for your family. The in-laws are being selfish. Comment 3. NTA. Ever. If your in-laws cared about their grandchildren at all, they'd be encouraging them to spend more time with you. These are your kids. Do not feel guilty about wanting to spend time with your own children. Your in-laws owe you a huge apology. And your wife needs to demand the apology comes or they don't get to spend any time with your children. Making my daughter write an apology letter over comments about Christmas gifts? My husband, 32M, and I, 33F, have 4 children, 13F, 11M, 8M and 2M, our 2 oldest, our daughter Kayla, 13, and our son Liam, 11. Every year, we give the kids money to spend on other family members. This year they got $100 to spend on each sibling, $50 on us, their cousins, and their grandparents, and $30 on aunts and uncles. The 3 oldest can pick stuff that they think the others would like fairly easily, obviously, We substantially helped our 2-year-old pick gifts. Earlier this year, Liam saw a TikTok of some guy going to a thrift store and finding basketball merch. Liam plays basketball and wanted to see if he could do the same, and he found some really nice stuff. Ever since then, Liam has been a huge fan of thrifting. He has found $50 or $100 items for a few bucks. Liam also wanted to thrift gifts this year, and the vast majority of the gifts he got were thrifted. This also means he was able to get each person quite many gifts. My husband and I had to get some big black trash bags to fit them all. The kids all shop for Christmas gifts separately, so they didn't know which stores each other were going to. Last night, we were in the living room watching the Polar Express and my husband had paused the movie to make hot cocoa during the hot cocoa song/scene. We had started talking about Christmas and Liam had mentioned he got some gifts at various different thrift stores earlier in the day. Kayla said that was gross and you better not have gotten me any gifts there. She said that she was above that filth. I will admit, we are quite privileged and live in a privileged area, so when my daughter said that, I asked where she learned that. She said her friends said similar things. I told her that was not nice and she needed to apologize. She refused and we started arguing until my husband intervened and said he would come up with something. After talking to me once the movie was over, we agreed that Kayla should have to write an apology letter to Liam for insulting him and why thrifting can be a good thing to do. She said she wasn't going to do it and has been arranging with us all day over it. I asked some friends who are also parents of teenagers if I was out of line and got mixed results. Comment 1. NTA. For the sake of society and your own sanity, that behavior needs to be corrected before it gets out of hand. An apology letter and making her do research on the benefits of thrifting is a great idea. Also props to Liam for using his brain on how to get the most for the money he had. Comment 2. ESH. Your daughter is spoiled and it doesn't seem like you've done anything to rein this in. Each of your children gets $400 worth of Christmas presents from their siblings alone plus whatever gifts you as parents purchase plus gifts from extended family. Of course this will skew her sense of privilege and entitlement. Sure, writing an apology letter is something but it won't touch the larger issue. In Tiger words, forcing her to write a letter one time is no substitute for parenting. So what will you do to ensure your daughter doesn't grow up looking down on everyone who doesn't receive hundreds or even thousands of dollars of presents every Christmas? Comment 3. NTA. Whilst it is great you have been able to provide your family a privileged life, it is important that they know that privilege is privilege and not everyone has it. They need to understand how to be grateful of what they have and to not look down on those who have less. Also recycling/reusing/repurposing should be a priority for all, regardless of privilege. Your son's got the right idea. Yelling at my boyfriend for eating my donut. This is so dumb but this is somehow one of the bigger fights we've had. I bought a shitty donut earlier today after me and my boyfriend finished some Christmas shopping and had dinner. I bought one and we were gonna share it. We regularly share food. We go to my parents' house to pick up our dog and chill out a bit before going home. I'm in the bathroom, and my boyfriend starts eating my donut and telling me how bad it is, stale and there's no creme in it, it's a Boston creme. I tell him that there's no way he's eating my donut right now and to stop or at least save me some. He eats the whole donut. I get out of the bathroom and I'm kinda upset. I wanted some donut tonight. He's being silly and put himself in the corner in the kitchen pretending he's there out of shame. I'm upset and ask him if he really ate it and he makes a joke and says it was so bad and not worth the calories. I just wanted a donut so I tell him that and he should save me some. He says he apologized here but I do not remember this. We go back into the living room and my dad is telling me drop it and that I'm overreacting for no reason. My mom is telling my boyfriend to apologize just because it obviously bothered me and that reason enough to apologize. My mom was kind of condescending towards him and the vibe got tense. I don't want to start some dumb fight over nothing and so we say our goodbyes and leave. On the way home I ask him to apologize and he says I'm making a big deal out of nothing and hugely overreacting. I say he's gaslighting me. We're both upset. We get home and keep talking about it in circles. I just want an apology to end it, and he starts yelling that I'm being a 5-year-old and that I made a scene in front of your parents and that I'm overreacting so badly he doesn't recognize me. I'm mad cause he's gaslighting me into thinking I'm wrong and yelling at me for no reason, and it doesn't matter if the donut was bad or not, at least half of it was mine. Anyways, he yells my feelings are hurt and we go to separate rooms and chill out for a bit. Later we talk about it a bit and both apologize, but maintain that we are in the right. Edit. Boyfriend insist I add that we've been together 8 years and that if this happened a month into our relationship, he agrees it would be psychotic, but what's a donut or two after 8 years? Him. He claims he wouldn't have been mad if I ate the last Oreo as an example. And that I dragged it out for too long, meaning my anger cause it was just a donut. He says that he felt singled out by mom, and that that's worse than the donut. Comment 1. NTA. He ate your half of the donut. He knew you were meant to share it. He then made excuses for eating the whole thing, and then tried to blame you for overreacting. And tried the old I wouldn't be mad if you did the same. You know he would be. He owes you a donut or a donut equivalent. Comment 2. NTA. The donut was bought with the intention to share, so it should have been shared. He needs to apology and get you a new donut tbh. His isn't worth the calories comment strikes me as odd. I wonder if this was a form of him trying to control your food intake/weight? I don't think you made a scene, you just wanted an apology. He caused things to become a scene when he refused to apologize and take ownership. Comment 3. NTAOP. Your BF is in the wrong. He says he wouldn't have been mad if you ate the last Oreo, but that comparison is oranges to apples as there was only one donut. His comparison makes one assume he got some Oreos out of the pack before you ate the last one. You in comparison got no donuts out of the pack as there was only one donut. What he did was honestly sus behavior with the calorie comment. If your mom thought he was aiming the "it wasn't worth the calories" comment at you, it sounds controlling and would be a red flag. Maybe that's why she was sending out bad juju. Fundamentally, you are in the right and he is in the wrong. Fix. Make him buy you a donut to replace the one he ate. Saying I won't help my brother with his and his fiancée's children during the wedding after he stepped up to help raise me after our parents died. I, 20F, went to live with my brother when I was 9 after our parents died. He was in his 20s, married, and they were expecting their first child at the time. He has been amazing to me the past 11 years and I adore my brother. He had 2 kids with his late wife Emma. But sadly she passed away 4 years ago. She was awesome and it really sucked to lose her. My nephew and niece was 6 and 5 at the time of her passing. A couple of years ago my brother met Martha and they started dating. They moved in together 8 months ago and got engaged 6 months ago. Their wedding is in February and my nephew and niece as well as Martha's 2 kids are not looking forward to the wedding. There are tensions among them because the kids aren't on board and seem to resent the idea of being one family instead of 2 after the marriage. My brother and Martha want to do a family ceremony during the wedding ceremony. Something to symbolize the family unit they are becoming. With the kids not on board and saying they won't participate in it, my brother asked me if I would watch all 4 kids during the wedding. It would be my job to sit with them and make sure they go up. I would also be expected to make sure they are good for photos and stuff. It's a lot, and honestly given the kids' feelings I am already hesitant, but add the fact I don't have much of a relationship with Martha's kids yet, and to be in a position of making sure they do something they don't want to do feels like it's a recipe for making them despise me. I told my brother I didn't think I could do it. He was upset but told me he understood. But then he and Martha said I could help them out after all my brother did for me. Comment 1. NTA. While it was very generous of your brother to take you in and raise you after your parents died, it is not at all comparable to what he and Martha are asking of you. All of the kids are unhappy about this marriage, and their parents are trying to make you the kids' prison guard during the wedding. You were right to refuse, The kids will need one adult in their lives who will respect their feelings. They should be taking the kids to therapy, not to get them on board and do this marriage/family ceremony, but to give the kids a safe place to express and process their feelings. Comment 2. NTA. It's heartwarming, all your brother has done for you, but it doesn't mean you can help them out by working miracles. You are not a child psychologist. You are not a drill sergeant. You are still very young and have only limited experience wrangling kids. Your reasoning is very smart and far-sighted. Agreeing to this would be setting yourself up for all sorts of failure, and they would only be mad at you for not succeeding at the impossible. Comment 3. NTA. If you think it will help to clarify that you're happy to watch out for the kids but not force them to participate, then you can say that. I also think it's fair to add that having a relative of Martha's do the same would be best, since you don't have the same rapport with them. But if your brother and Martha are dead set on forcing the kids into being anything beyond present and polite, you should be honest that you're not comfortable with that and don't think it's realistic to expect that to happen. TBH, even the kids just being present and polite might be a tough ask, and I wouldn't blame you for not wanting to be anywhere near this mess.